Let's pretend there's a teacher who's almost as cool as me who decides to give you a 10-point bonus on all of these grades. So what we could do is, if we wanted to look at them, we could just do grades at 0 plus 10, grades at 1 plus 10, grades at 2 plus 10. And then we can see we got 85, 95, 105. This is repeating yourself. And of course, you don't want to repeat yourself. You don't want to repeat yourself when programming. You need to ask instead, is there a construct in this programming language that will do this repetition for me? Is there a construct in this programming language that will do this repetition for me? Well, we do know about the good old for loop for I in range 3, because there are 3 items here. We could do print. It won't work if we just call grades at I plus 10, but we're going to do print grades at I plus 10. And then that does the same thing. So it does print grades at 0, then 1, then 2. This I here is just a dummy variable, also known as a counter. So it starts at 0, goes up 1, and then 2, and then it doesn't hit that number. But that's the number of times that this loop iterates, okay? And then this I, since it changes every time, we're actually using it for 0, then 1, then 2. There is a slightly better way to do a for loop if you are iterating through a list. You could call the len function on that list here in the range function, and then do the exact same statement up there. So this will work no matter what the length of the grades function actually is. So it's a little more generic, it's a little more abstracted, which is good. But it's very hard to read for I and range, length, grades, print grades at I plus 10. It's hard to read unless you're like a seasoned programmer. But Python, they really love to be very close to natural language, very close to English. So they have this amazing construct called a for each loop. So it does something for each item in the list. You don't even have to know how many items there are. You don't have to calculate it. And you don't have to access each individual item. It'll kind of do that for you. So let's do for grade in grades. And print, it's going to be a little different. Grade plus 10. Oops. So that does the exact same thing. It's the exact same output. But now instead of accessing I and then calling grades at I, we're just accessing each item, each element in the list grades. And I called it grade, but you can call it whatever you want. I just know that in my grades list is each item is a grade. So I said for grade in grades, print grade plus 10. That's so awesome. That's almost English. But it's not good if you want to actually change the elements in the list. You have to use something else called a list comprehension, which is my favorite construct in Python, and it'll be the subject of the next video.